Well, recently I have gotten addicted to kokanee fishing. I used to think kokanee fishing was something you needed an expensive boat to do. I used to think you needed downriggers, you needed a bunch of expensive gear. And lately, I started fishing for kokanee out of my 14-foot long Hughes craft. So I've learned, contrary to what I initially thought, you don't really need expensive gear to go after kokanee. This video is just to go over super basic stuff of how I fish for kokanee with my 14-foot Hughes craft. First and foremost, I got to give credit where credit is due. The majority of this information I got from Spilt Milt. That guy does kokanee fishing out of his kayak, and I essentially adapted what he does out of a kayak for this little boat. Running 7.5-foot long Eagle Claw Featherlight rods, so these retail for like 25 to 30 bucks. I am running line counter reels. You don't necessarily need line counter reels because on most rods, from the reel to the first rod guide is 2 feet. I'm running 10-pound Maxima Ultra Clear as the main line, and rigging is super simple. I mean, all I do is just tie a snap swivel, and that's really it. Here I got an arrow flasher, about a 10-inch leader to 2 size 1 drop shot hooks, a couple beads, and a spinner blade. But I'm just gonna let this out 30 feet. Then after it's out, we'll clip in a snap weight. Snap weights are super cool. And this happens to be a 3-ounce snap weight, so I'll just clip her in. This lake I'm fishing on is actually the first lake I learned how to kokanee fish on, and lately it seems like going 30 feet down with 3 ounces of weight has been the ticket. So total amount of line on the line counter will be the 30 feet out, clipped in the weight, another 30 feet. So 60 feet in total. Put that in the rod holder. Deploy the second rod. So once again, I'll do 30 and 30 to start initially here. All right, according to this chart, 30 feet at 3 ounces will get me down about 17 feet. I like to troll slow for kokanee. It seems like I have the best luck at 1.2 miles an hour. So I tend to stick as close to that 1.2 as I can. It's very calm right now, so I'm just running this 40-pound thrust electric motor. I actually rolled the dice and bought a lithium iron phosphate battery from Amazon, a 50 amp hour Power Queen battery, and it seems to work pretty well. This is Eastern Washington after all, so it does tend to get windy out here, and when it is windy, I'll run my 5-horse motor with a drift sock, which clips in to the front of the boat, and that keeps the bow of the boat down in the wind, and I can really control the boat speed very well with the drift sock. But right now it's calm. Running electric motor is pretty quiet. Right now I'm going at 1.23 miles an hour, so see how this works. Right now it's July 6th. Surface temp 67 degrees. So I will play around with depths, watch my sonar, see where I see schools of fish. What I got on these hooks is Jolly Green Giant shoe peg corn. Again, got to give credit to Spilt Milt for the corn recipe. It's essentially a 1/3 cup of the shoe peg corn to about a teaspoon of canning salt. Stir that around in a little canning jar. Let it sit for half an hour, get some of the moisture out of it, and then soak it up with whatever scents you want. I use Procure scents, so garlic, bloody tuna. I'm also a big fan of just anise oil, or anise and shrimp oil. And that's essentially the bait that's on the hooks. But I'm going to troll around for a bit with these 2 rigs. I may play with the depth initially. I may play with the rigging. I Do have garlic buddy tuna on this rod and anise oil, shrimp oil on this rod. So I got several variables to try to work out here, which I think is all part of the fun. There we go, look at that. We're on. We're on. All right. All right, it's still on. He's shaking. Woo! Oh yeah. Oh, he's still on. Oh, decent. Yay! Kokanee in the boat. That was crazy. All right. That's all the fuss is about. Kokanee. He's already starting to bleed himself out. Oh, right here. This rod. I'm trying to bait up the other one. I wonder if he's still on there. Don't know if he's still on there. We'll see. Yeah, he's still on there. Nice. Nice. Feel decent. There we go. We got a chromer. We got ourselves a chromer. Yeah, no. Hey, and another one. Cool. That's exciting. Yes. Bite's good. Yeah. Garlic buddy tuna for the win. There we go. 2 kokanee back to back. Just a few closing comments on kokanee fishing. I like to bleed out kokanee in the bucket for a couple minutes, then I put them on ice. Keeps them nice and firm, especially during the summertime when the lake can be like 70 degrees. Losing fish seems to be part of the game, although I guess depending on how aggressive they are, you may land most fish you hook, and some days you may lose half the fish you hook. That seems to be part of the game, fishing for kokanee. It's a lot of fun. On this particular day, I found the best action with basically a pink dodger. Oh, there's a bite right there. Look at that. Pink dodger, 9-inch leader, pink spinner. Whoa, whoa, jumping back there. All right. Oh yeah, he's splashing, splashing. He jumping. Whoa. That's a chunky one. Come on, buddy. Pretty chunky coke. Yay! Chunky coke in the boat. Nice. There we go. That one's a little bit girthy there. Nice. The hardest part about this style of kokanee fishing seems to be the getting the snap weight off the line when you're fighting a fish, which is a lot easier when you have a fishing buddy with you, but if you're by yourself, I seem to just kind of have the weight about arm's length away from the rod and just kind of do my best to grab it while maintaining tension on the line. The best combination this morning seemed to be let out 30 feet of line, snap in a 3-ounce snap weight, and then put out another 30 feet. That would get the lure that would get the weight down to about 17 feet, trolling at 1.2 miles an hour. I used a arrow flasher with a little pink on it, a 9-inch leader to a small pink smile blade and 2 beads, 2 size 1 split shot drop shot hooks with pieces of corn. Interestingly, it seemed like the garlic bloody tuna got way more bite, so I ended up putting that on both rods, and both rods got bit. Hope you found the information in this video useful. If you've never gone kokanee fishing before and are wanting to get into it, it doesn't really take a whole lot. It's very simple, very fun, and I hope you get out there and do it and get yourself or your family or your friends some nice red landlocked sockeye fillets. Thank you for watching, and fish on.